Ladies and gentlemen, this Saturday, ETWA presented Spring to the Top 2, and I am here to recap the event. Now, I want to start off by saying this is something I'm going to do more and more for each ETWA event. Obviously, it's something that I hold very close to my heart, as I am a member of the crew, and also a wrestler for them. And I've also been a fan of them for years before I ever started working for them. So this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I figured this was a perfect time to start. Now, it is safe to say that this ladder match and show as a whole really had a lot of hype, and it really needed to live up to the potential because Spring to the Top 1 in, I believe it was April 2019, was arguably one of the best shows that ETWA has ever put on. In that match, we saw Donnie the Boss Myers winning another world title, and he held it for quite some time to ultimately lose it to Shane Alden, who lost it later that same night after he won to Tyler Payne. And that ladder match in 2019 was so exciting, so fast-paced, so hard-hitting, that it was going to be really hard to live up to the potential that they had and live up to the hype. And I think it's safe to say that they did this very well for this show on Saturday. So first off, what was the opening match? This match was the Ultimate Powers, Mullet Man, and Jobs versus Sonny Defarge and Danny Miles, who was filling in for Brute Van Slyke, who could not make it to the show. Now, as we've seen so far from Sonny Defarge in ETWA, he's very cunning, he's very planned out, he has everything carefully set out in a certain way so that it will work out in his favor. But he lets his opponent get to him, he lets the crowd get to him, he lets himself get in his own head, and ultimately that costs him his matches. I should know I refereed both of them. In Derby, Vermont, February 2022, Sonny Defarge fought Jobs and took him to his absolute limits, but Jobsy came out as a victor. And here we are now, and Sonny Defarge ended up doing the same to Mullet Man, and almost took him out of the match entirely, but through the chops, the gut punches, all of that, he was able to withstand everything, make a hot tag for Jobsy, and they were able to get in a couple of moves. They ended up hitting a big avalanche leg drop, and that was the match. 1, 2, 3. The Ultimate Powers are once again victorious. Sonny Defarge once again loses the match. Moving on to the second match of the night, we had Sigma versus Big Dan Champion, and this match was quite a uneven battle. You know, Big Dan Champion, he's probably about 6'5", 6'6". He's a pretty big boy, and he's pretty rugged. He's a tough guy, and it's not exactly the type of guy you can just throw around. And he was facing off against Sigma, who, you know, he's not a super big guy. He's big, he's tough, but he is not Big Dan Champion. So, it seemed like the odds were stacked up against Sigma, but at the end of the day, he was the one who came out victorious after Big Dan Champion crushed one of his cookies, distracting him, but he powered up with another cookie while Big Dan was not looking. He ended up body slamming the big man. 1, 2, 3, lights out for Big Dan Champion. Sigma wins his first match in ETWA. For the third match of the night, we had Owen Brody and Elias Markopoulos versus The Colony. In an odd turn of events, the Sato brothers and Jay Freddy, their car had broken down, so they were not able to make it to the event, and Elias and Owen Brody were supposed to face off. But with the turn of events, they decided to team up against The Colony, and they decided to, as they said at the show, form a new tag team, which the name, as far as I'm aware, has not been determined yet. And they were decided to face The Colony for the ETWA Tag Team Championships. This match was everything you'd expect to see from these four guys, just them doing what they do best, them going fast, back and forth, suicide dives, super kicks, you know, all that fun stuff. And at the end of the day, the tag team champions were able to overcome this new form tag team, and obviously, being a new form tag team, you gotta learn with each other. Your dynamic is not gonna be perfect. So, they have some learning to do, but I think they showed off themselves pretty well, and I think that they will definitely be back. And at the end of the day, they put on a valiant effort, but The Colony still remains the ETWA Tag Team Champions. For the fourth match of the night and the semi-main event, we had Avery Good versus Anthony Green. And this match was interesting because in the beginning, Avery Good decided to bring out Big Dan Champion, showing he had no intentions to being clean or professional. in his second to last match as a professional wrestler, as he is on his way out of the business, or at least out of the ring. But throughout the antics of Big Dan Champion trying to distract Anthony Green and all of that and wear him down, make fun of him, all that stuff, at the end of the day, Anthony Green bested Avery Good. He hit him with the Avalanche kill switch, and 1, 2, 3 match was over. And as it looked like Anthony Green was about to pay tribute to Avery Good, he decided to continue to chant "the worst" along with the crowd, and he left the ring, and that was it. That was that match. Now, it is time to discuss the main event. This is the one that will take the longest to talk about, as it was the longest match. It was the most intense match on the card, as it should be. A ladder match, after all, is one of the most vicious matches in professional wrestling. Now, initially, this was supposed to be a Fatal 4-Way, as the one in 2019 was, which was Tyler Payne, Donnie the Boss Myers, The Buzzard, and Aaron Fire. Now, this one was also supposed to be a Fatal 4-Way, but Black Maniac had to pull out last minute because of car troubles, so it ended up being CC Boost, Mr. Elegant, Preston Douglas, and Green Phantom in a triple threat match for a first round bye for the tournament next month on May 7th for the Green Mountain Classic for the world title. Throughout the match, these three men brutalized themselves on the ladders. They did suplexes, back body drops, low blows on the ladder, everything you can think of under the sun. They really busted that ladder up. I was there at ringside watching. I was refereeing the match, and yeah, they brutalized that ladder. It was pretty bad. The ladder was broken into a couple different parts by the end of the match. Thankfully, just enough that it was not too damaged, so that they could still use it as a ladder and could use it for next year's show. Now, in the beginning of this match, we saw CC Boost and Preston Douglas team up. Briefly before Preston Douglas double-crossed CC Boost, hit him with a low blow. He told him to climb the ladder, hits him with the low blow, pulls him off, goes to climb it for himself, but then he was stopped. And it looked as though CC Boost would be the victor of the match, but then it was revealed that he was aiming for a coast-to-coast and not grabbing the contract. So, he went for the coast-to-coast, a few things more happened in between the match, and then as CC Boost and Green Phantom were on the ladder grabbing at the contract, they undid it from the rope. They had it in their hands. They can't be two winners. So, they ended up losing it out of their hands. They ended up dropping it. And who was there to grab it? Mr. Elegant, Preston Douglas, who is now the winner of the match, who now has the first round bye for the world title in the tournament at the next show. And that was ETWA Presents Spring to the Top 2. ETWA has had a rough couple of years with COVID, but man, they have really come back stronger than ever. They returned to Derby, Vermont for Don't Call It a Comeback in February of this year. The show was fantastic. It was very well received, had a great crowd, and they just keep getting bigger and better after each show. Last month, they did the This Is Our Town show, and of course, they had several people that didn't make it, unfortunately, but they still powered through the snowstorm. Vermont sucks sometimes, but they powered through the storm, and they got a full show in, and I even got to make my debut, which is awesome. So go check that match out if you haven't seen it. It's on their YouTube channel, which if not in the description, just look up ETWA Pro Wrestling right here on YouTube. And also while you're at it, go like them on Facebook and Instagram. They hit another successful show here yesterday, or the other day on Saturday, for Spring in the Top 2. Now let's hope they can keep up their great momentum, their great stars, and their great matches, and let's see what they have for the Green Mountain Classic, because that's going to be a very good match. It is a one-night tournament to crown the world champion, and we'll see what ends up happening, but I don't know. It's going to be carnage, I know that. There's going to be a lot of hard-hitting matches on that night, and a lot of people are going to walk away with a lot of bruises. So that was my recap of ETWA Presents Spring in the Top 2. I would like to do these more and more. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to see more of these, that would be great. It's free promotion for them. It's free promotion for me. I think this works out perfectly. If you guys want to see it, let me know. I'm working with ETWA, getting them some ideas for some new match types that we could do, put on for some fans, and I think that would be very, very cool. But that is just some stuff that I'm kind of gonna, kind of tease right now. Just say, we're working on some cool stuff. I'm trying to help them out as much as I can because it never hurts. I'm hoping to be back wrestling for them again soon, but you never know what's going to happen. You never know where I'm going to show up. I'm supposed to be wrestling somewhere in Vermont later next month. I haven't gotten the word that I have the okay to give details yet, But when the show gets posted online and the event is officially made and the posters are put up around towns, then I will have the okay to say, all the details about it. So for now, I'll keep that on the back burner, but stay tuned because you never know when or where I will show up. So, with all that being said, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Check out everything ETWA on their website, their Twitter, their YouTube, their Instagram. You can find them pretty much everywhere. So check them out. Stay tuned for more ETWA content here. Stay tuned for more wrestling content here. I'll have some more gaming. I'll have some vlogs coming up soon. All sorts of fun stuff. So, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if you want to see more recaps, and I'll see you guys next time.